Welcome to the Candidates Forum featuring candidates for the Santa Clara County Office of Education. I am Patsy Duke. I am a member of the League of Women Voters of Los Altos Mountain View and the moderator for today's forum. This forum is co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters and the Los Altos Library. The League of Women Voters of the Los Altos Mountain View area delivers unbiased public policy information and encourages citizens to shape better communities through active participation in their communities. The League of Women Voters is a nonprofit organization of women and men established to promote political responsibility through informed, active participation in government. The League does not support, oppose, or evaluate political candidates or parties. We do not endorse political candidates, but we do, after careful study, take positions on political issues. The League invites anyone who's interested in government, politics, and serving the community to join us. If you're not already a member, please check out the information on the table in the back with information on how to join the League, along with other information on the election material. We also encourage you in this digital age, we also encourage you to visit www.votersedge.org for more voter information. I believe you all have a bookmark on the chair in which you're seated that will give you that website address. The forum for today's forum will be as follows. Each candidate will make a 90-second opening statement. Next, the candidates will respond to questions from our audience. Submitted questions should be of general interest as each candidate will respond. Question sorters, who are League members, will review and select the questions that have been submitted. If you have a question to submit, just put it on a card, raise it up, and one of our runners will pick it up. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. Finally, the candidates will have 90 seconds to make a closing statement. To help keep us on track of time, we have our timekeepers, Harold Brown and Max Hartman-Learned, who will signal each candidate of when their time is up. If they have there's a yellow sign first. The yellow sign will give them warning that they have only 15 seconds, and the red sign says you should stop. In the interest of time and decorum, the League asks our audience and candidates to abide by the following ground rules. If you are in the audience, the questions to candidates must be written on cards provided by the League. League volunteers will be circulating throughout the forum to hand out cards and collect audience questions. No audience demonstration, clapping, and so forth during the forum. And please turn off all electronic devices that make any kind of noise or have an on or off switch. If any devices are used to record, we ask that the content be shared in its entirety to ensure that any remarks made are not distorted. To the candidates, there will be no substitutes or stand-ins, and indeed, there are no substitutes or stand-ins here today. The moderator will enforce time limits. After the moderator says, "Thank you, your time is up," please end your comments. Candidates are requested not to interrupt each other. Campaign material may not be displayed within the forum room, but the League has provided, and the library has provided space outside the forum room for candidates' material, which you might have seen as you entered, or you will see as you leave. Now I would like to introduce the candidates who are running for the Santa Clara County Office of Education. In position number 1 is Sheena Chen, and in position number 2 is Grace Ma. They are seated in the order that they selected prior to the forum. The League did not determine that order. Welcome, and thank you for agreeing to participate in today's forum. We're now ready to begin. And that we will start with Sheena Chen.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. I'm Sheena Chen, running for Santa Clara County Board of Education, Trustee Area 1. I moved to the United States in the year 2000. I have 3 kids. They are in elementary, middle, and high schools. I currently serve as Palo Alto Library Advisory Commissioner, and I serve on the Site Council for Palo Verde Elementary School and JLS Middle School. I'm heavily involved with school education, and I volunteer in the community for 13 years. I've been a media professional for over 20 years. 99% of people I reached out did not know the county office of education exists. Why? For so many years, we are not aware of this elected position. Why? Do we want to continue not being informed for another 4 years? It's time to make a change. It's time to bring new energy to the county board. It's time for the county board members to walk out of the meeting rooms, to talk to the public, to listen to what the parents, students have to say about education. I want to reach out to the community to increase the visibility and transparency of County Board of Education if elected. It's time to bring new energy to the County Board of Education. Thank you.
And now, Grace Ma.
Hi, my name is Grace Ma, and I'm running for Santa Clara County School Board, Trustee Area 1, which includes this area of Los Altos, Mountain View, Sunnyvale, and Palo Alto and Stanford. So I bring experience and leadership to this position, and I've been in the position for 9 years. I believe that the county board does do a lot of things that the local community doesn't understand or doesn't know about. So I have some brochures outside that describe what the county board actually does. And you'll see that what we do has a lot to do with populations of children and the community that are outside of the local school district. So these are children who are migrant ed children, children who are in juvenile hall, special ed kids, usually children that the local school districts don't have enough of to take care of. And so the county then does a pooling of all these children for economies of scale and takes care of them. I've had a lot of experience working with grassroots organizations and listening and working across the county. My most recent work has been as a Strong Start Coalition Chair. I have some brochures outside on what Strong Start is, which is a coalition of organizations working to increase access to high-quality preschool for all children in Santa Clara County. I've also worked with the Los Altos School District with respect to the charter school issues that have been going on for a long time. I've also worked with Mountain View. Thank you.
Thank you. The first question is a 2-part question. What are the 2 most important issues facing the SCCOE, and what are your priorities for the SCCOE? So we'll start with Sheena.
I think the most important thing is communication. As I said earlier, few people know about County Board of Education. I think we have to enhance the communication between County Board and the local. If we don't understand what they really want, how can we desire to represent the community? The first thing is that we have to make efforts. We have to talk to them. We have to reach out to them. That's the most important thing we have to do. Communication is always the key to let people know that County Board really care about local communities, about our students, about our families. How can we better serve this community? How can we provide more resources to those students and their families? It's important to let each child reach their full potential, to let them grow and thrive.
Thank you. And Ms. Ma?
So the 2 highest priorities for the county right now, the County Board of Education, are the closing the achievement gap, and we've been working on that steadily for the last 5 years with what we call the San Jose Silicon Valley 2020 program, And we're trying to eliminate the achievement gap completely through a number of different efforts. One of the efforts is another high priority for the county board, and that is early learning. Because by helping these children make sure that by kindergarten, they're starting on par with all the other kids, kids who are behind end up staying behind. And this is a high population of children, largely from the low socioeconomic areas of the county, who are not doing well. They're not being stimulated, not being trained, and without high-quality preschool, they end up going into being higher possibility of high school dropouts, going into the criminal justice system, going into all sorts of bad things.
Thank you. The next question: what is the role of the trustees for the County Office of Education, and what is their relationship to the superintendent, particularly in decision-making and setting priorities for the COE? We'll start with Ms. Ma.
So the role of the school board members for the county are very specific. They're dictated by law. And some of the requirements that we act as are appellates for inter-school district transfers. So that's the case where students want to transfer between two different school districts, and if they're denied by the school district, then they can appeal to the county board. So those are meetings that we are required by law to have. And we affect children and their lives and their futures by doing that. We also affect children with expulsion appeals. So students who have been expelled from their school, they can appeal to our county board and have that expulsion either erased or continue. We also, working with our superintendent, work as a team of 8. And so we have decisions that are made by the board, but generally recommendations and guidance from the superintendent, who is the professional educator in the team of 8.
Thank you. Ms. Chin?
Yes, the major role for county school board members is to decide the appeals from inter-district appeals for students, and also the appeals for expulsion, and for the charters application. And the other role is appoint the county superintendent. The relationship with county superintendent is so important because the authority for County Board of Education is limited. But for county superintendent, he's in charge of the County Office of Education. And County Office of Education has very close relationship with 31 school districts. So how to find the right person for the County Office of Education is so important because our County Office of Education provide all kinds of services, business services, educational services, student services, technology services, and HR services. So they have to work collaboratively to serve all the students.
Thank you. A related question is, what is the role of the SCCOE versus Santa Clara County's 31 school districts? Ms. Chin?
As I said earlier, that superintendent of the county schools, he's in charge of County Office of Education. So we provide all kinds of services to the 31 school districts. So relationship has to be very close. And the business service, they provide supports for the payroll, especially for the educational services. They provide all kinds of teachers' workshop and teachers training for our teachers in different school districts. That's very important. And also, the technology support is very, very vital for school district because we know nowadays people communicate with each other through social media. And school district use lots of technologies. If without the support from County Office of Education, the technology for local school district is very hard to implement lots of programs. So the relationship with county office and local school district is important.
And Ms. Ma?
So I like to describe the relationship between the County Office of Education and the local school districts as the same analogy of having governors and senators. And so governors are in charge of, their state, while senators who represent California participate in Washington, D.C. on higher level policy levels. And so in the same way, our local school districts have all sorts of control of the local students in the school district. So, and we elect the board members, and they appoint their own superintendent locally. For the county-wide, though, we end up working with school districts across the county, but we don't do a lot of work with a local school district. And so the relationship is largely service to the school district at the administrative level, and also in some of the student levels, as I mentioned before. We have our own students in the different schools that we support. And so the relationship is very tight with the school districts, but not as close with the actual community who work and get service through their local school districts.
Thank you. Considering the answer to the last question, what is the role of this SCCOE in delivering high-quality education to our students in public schools? Ms. Ma?
So the role of the Santa Clara County School Board includes preschool services, as in the Head Start program and the California State Preschool Program. And both of those programs serve low-income students and families all over the county. We have about 150 different locations throughout the county, individual classrooms at a lot of the different school districts and our own sites. And so there we are executing a program that's high quality. We've been Blue Star designated by the federal government for the last 3 years. And we have example models of what high quality education is. We've also built a EduCare facility, which is down in southern San Jose, and there's only 22 of those, and they are model situations. It's a brand new building, facilities and programs for teaching parents how to be more engaged with their kids, teaching teachers how to be great teachers.
Thank you.
So for the high quality education, I think every parents really emphasize this part very much. And for County Office of Education, I think support their needs, meet their needs and provide all the services is the key. As I mentioned earlier, the technology part is always being neglected. But as a matter of fact, for the County Office of Education, they provide lots of technology support for the local school district. Try to help local school district to improve their education. Try to provide high quality education for our students and our communities. And also the teachers workshop. The educational department, they design different workshops and courses for the teachers to do the professional development, because once teachers get all this professional development, they can have better instructions to our kids.
Thank you. In light of that, how can the County Office of Education play a role in raising academic achievement and reducing the achievement gap within the county? Ms. Chin.
First of all, I'd like to say I believe that the achievement gap can be reduced, even eliminated, as long as we provide high quality early education. And we also have to help every student to have equal access to educational resources. That's very important. For the early education, I want to emphasize, many studies shows that 90% of brain development occurs in the first 5 years of children's life. And some study even said that 80% of brain development occurs in the first year of life. And for the achievement gap, for the low-income students, it happens as early as 9 months of age. So it's very important to provide high-quality education for those kids from birth to 4 years old. And also for other aspects that we have to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ma?
Yes, the achievement gap, as I said, was addressed with the SJSV 2020 program. And there we had a number of foundational legs. One was the parent engagement section, and so we encouraged and have meetings and seminars and training for parents to be more engaged with their children in the education of their children at the very early years. Another area was professional development for teachers, because teachers are the highest highest contact with their students, and with high-quality teachers, you can make a huge impact on the children. So we provide professional development for the whole county on all sorts of topics, on teaching, to be able to allow teachers to hone their practice. We also support early learning, as I've mentioned before, which is critical. And then the last area is educational excellence, of which our Santa Clara County School Board has supported a number of charter schools, which have been targeting the low-income areas in San Jose and working with those children to increase their academic abilities.
Thank you, which is a good lead-in to the next question. What is the role of the County Office of Education with respect to charter schools? A lot of national research states that charter schools have a very mixed record for student academic success. What can the Office of Education do to improve charter school performance, improve their transparency of operation, and encourage them to be more integrated within the public school system? Ms. Ma.
So charter schools are public schools, and they are supported by the local education code, and we are encouraged as the governmental entities to support charter schools as innovative lab schools for improving and giving choice to parents and the community for their educational futures. And so charter schools do have important roles with respect to bringing new kinds of innovative technology or new innovative teaching methods, or being able to just bring an additional twist to education that the local school districts don't do. As far as the county office role, we are appellate voices with respect to local charter schools which are not approved by their local school district, but then they can appeal that to the county office, and the county office can approve a charter school and be the authorizers. The charter school, though, is an independent school, so it runs itself.
Thank you. Ms. Chin.
Charter schools bring innovation, brings inspiration, and charter schools incentivize local school districts. Supposedly should be welcomed by everyone. If it's not, there must be something wrong. Then what is it? We have to find out. Segregation in the community is the last thing I want to see. I want the charter school, because charter schools is also public education, public schools. I want the charter school to share the responsibility of reducing achievement gap. I will request charter schools to maintain a certain percentage of enrollment from historically underrepresented students. I will request the charter schools to prepare the progress report for all those students, because charter schools are public schools too. They should share the same responsibility to reduce the academic achievement. Thank you.
And there was also a question submitted. I want to make sure that you have said all the things you want to say about it. What is your position on charter schools, which I think you have just now stated, and what is the trustee's role with the Bullis Charter School? Ms. Chin.
As I said, that charter schools should be encouraged, but we have to take a look at how the charter schools are running. And we have to make sure they share the responsibility for the community as well. And one thing is that we have to take a look at all the regulations. Do we have to review it? Do we have to modify the regulations? Because nowadays, right now, the regulations are kind of blurred, not very clear. Do we need to take a look at it and take leadership role and try to take actions, try to modify the regulations, and try to make charter schools better and to serve our community? Because we all want our kids to be in an environment which is innovative and also safe. And we have to look at all these regulations. We have to make sure that charter schools follow the regulations that would protect our child. We have to concern our child's safety and health.
Thank you. Ms. Ma, I'll give you the same question. What is your position on charter schools? And also the second part of the question was, what is the trustee's role with the Bullis Charter School?
So as far as charter schools go, I support all high-quality public schools. So that includes charter schools, that includes local school districts. Charter schools have come before the board, which have been excellent, but we've also closed a number of charter schools. And so I am not someone who supports every charter school that we see. That's sometimes the reputation that our board has, but rather discerning to see how the charter school is run. We are authorizers, and so therefore do a number of oversight functions with charter schools. For all of our charter schools, we watch their budgets, we go over to visit the schools, we take care of issues that come up from the community as far as complaints, and we have a very good oversight process. With respect to charter schools in general, their academic achievement, especially in the local area, has been shown by a local Stanford Credo report to actually be better than charter schools nationally. So in California, in Northern California, we have great charter schools.
Thank you. We have a question submitted by a member of the audience that states, I pay attention to education very closely, but honestly, I do not know the county school board exists. I'm not the only person. Why do you think people do not know that the SCCOE trustee position exists? Ms. Ma.
So as I said earlier, the local school issues are usually dealt with the local school districts. And so those are the board members and the superintendents that you pay the most attention to and go ahead and complain to and discuss things. However, from a county level, the county board does affect some of the policies that are influenced across the school district, across the county. And so it's a lesser direct role with the community. And as you can see from the information that I have outside, the county office does a lot of different things that local community members just are not aware of. And it's something that again, like governors and senators, you know everything the governor is doing, Jerry Brown, but you don't always know everything of what's going on at the senator level. And that's not the fault of the senator or of the governor, but rather how things are set up. But certainly, we have a very extensive website, sccoe.org, and you're encouraged to take a look at that and do all the things that we do.
Thank you. Ms. Chin.
This question just echoed my opening statement. 99% of people I reached out, they don't even know we have County Board of Education. Why is that? I think the county board member has to make efforts, has to take actions, has to reach out to the community, because the County Board of Education desires to represent the community. Without communication, without talking to the parents, talking to the teachers, talking to the students, how can you represent the community? So communication is the first step, and you must have the energy to reach out, to go to different places, talk to people. I traveled 1,200 miles for the past 50 days. I talked so many people, I shook so many hands, and I have the energy to reach out to different communities. I talk to people, I let them know about County Board of Education. I let them know how important it is for all of us to know County Board of Education exists.
Thank you. And a question about teachers. California is facing a huge teacher shortage. What, if anything, can the SCCOE do to help the local school districts find and retain good teachers who cannot afford the high cost of housing? Ms. Chin.
Yes. In the Bay Area, it's not easy to live here. And many qualified teachers, they have to leave this area. We don't want to see that happen. So I stepped out. I helped Measure V. Many of you might not know Measure V. It's in Mountain View. They try to slow down the rent increase, and I helped them to do the door-to-door walk, because I think we have to take actions. We have to help those teachers to at least we have to control the rent. Most of the teachers, they don't own houses here. They rent houses. So we have to help those teachers. And stepping out and helping Measure V is one way for me to help and take actions to help those qualified teachers. Another thing is that we have to enhance the communication with local government. Try to find out if local government and the state government can build affordable housing for those teachers.
Thank you. Ms. Ma.
So local teachers are finding it difficult to stay in the area. And some of the things that the county office has done to support teachers and recruitment and retention of teachers is to have teacher fairs. And so we have a huge teacher recruiting fair every year where almost all of the school districts and charter schools participate to hire teachers, and all teachers can come to the fair. I think we had about 2,000 attendees this year. We also have had conferences and meetings where we had something called Stepping Into Teaching, where we had opportunities for people who are otherwise not teachers but are interested in being teachers to come and learn about what it takes to become a teacher, what kind of credentialing is required, what kinds of benefits, what kinds of pay salaries, et cetera, are arranged there. And then the county office also had a meeting recently with regards to residential support for teachers by school districts. We had the San Mateo City College come, and they talked about their apartments that they have for rent for their teachers.
Thank you. How should the COE be involved with career technical education, CTE? Ms. Ma.
So the county office supports CTE by having our own CTE officer in the Department of School Services. And so we support CTE through the programs that are jointly done and trained by the Metro Ed Education Center over in, I believe it's in San Jose. And they have classes for kids that are not interested in the college-bound route, but rather areas like cosmetology or a great culinary school or automotive or any of the trades like welding or carpentry. And so we support those programs wholeheartedly. Unfortunately, Governor Brown has cut down the funding for those programs, and so we haven't been able to expand the programs as much as we'd like.
Ms. Chin.
Usually, state government will distribute money to the local area, and that's called the Regional Occupation Program. But 2 years ago, the government stopped the funding. So for the past 2 years, it is County Office of Education, they distribute the money from their own pocket because we think this is an important thing for the local school district to sustain the occupation career training for our students. So that's why the county office just distribute money from their own pockets. That's one way. Another way is that we have to help kids to do well in their career, is try to help them get the diploma. Some kids, for some reason, they are not able to get their high school diploma. So they can get it from the Opportunity Youth Academy, which is a charter school run by the County Office of Education. So they can get their diploma and start their career. Thank you.
Thank you. How should the COE be involved with special education, that is, serving students with disabilities? Ms. Chin.
We do have a plan called Spelled Up. It's a special education local program. That's the program. It has a legal foundation. So this program will have like a county office and local school district. They will work together to generate a very comprehensive program to help those kids. So I think it's important to implement the program to the local communities. But the thing is that from the Smarter Balance test, it shows that basically for the English, for the math, there's improvement. But for the students with disabilities, we did not see too much growth. We did not see too many improvements. I think that part, county office and local school districts have to work together, try to improve this part, and try to help those students with disabilities, help them grow and thrive.
Thank you. Ms. Ma.
So the special ed department in the County Office of Education is one of our largest departments as far as budget and number of students. We are responsible for special ed students throughout the county. And we service those students at each of the different schools with community day classes. We provide schools for medically fragile children in the Saratoga Los Gatos area at the hospital. We also provide services for emotionally disturbed children, children with all kinds of hearing, speech, and sight issues. And so those children are all our responsibility, and we take that very much to heart. Special ed teachers especially deserve a little corner of heaven just because of the work that they do supporting these children. One of the most inspiring things that I do every year is attend the special ed graduation, which is from high school. We have our, sometimes we serve special ed students until they're 22, and so we have a number of these children come through incredible hurdles to graduate and go on to productive
Thank you.
lives.
One last question, more on a personal note. Since both of you are from Palo Alto, how have you contributed or volunteered outside of Palo Alto? Ms. Ma.
So I volunteer outside of Palo Alto at Mountain View, at the middle school, Crittenden Middle School, where I run the Mouse Squad program. I and another lady teach kids technology and coding and web design and take apart electronics. So I do that at in Mountain View. And then in Los Altos, I've also been a member of the Los Altos League of Women Voters on the Education Committee. So I helped put together a number of parent education and educational meetings. This was a few years ago, so that hasn't been real recent. But I do attend the education meetings and participate in bringing sometimes what the county office is doing and how it's doing it to the Ed Committee and League of Women Voters. I also participate in the middle college program, which my son participated in, and that's a program that crosses Mountain View and Los Altos and Palo Alto, the 4 high schools.
Thank you. Ms. Chin.
I thought people would never ask me this question. Wonderful. I want to let you know, I volunteer in the Bay Area. I am a storyteller. I love to tell stories to kids. So I traveled all Bay Area from Foster City, San Mateo, and Palo Alto, Mountain View, Los Altos, Milpitas, San Jose, you name it. I went to everywhere. I go everywhere. Even now, every year, I go to the College Park Elementary School. I tell stories to kids over there. I really enjoy it. Other than that, I did lots of volunteering work for different organizations like Chinese American Abacus Association and Orion Abacus Association. And also I help the Distinguished Citizenship International Community. I help them to do different kinds of activities, and I help them host the activities as well. And one of our focus is youth mental. We really want youth to grow and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. And now it's time for your closing statement. You will have 90 seconds. Ms. Ma.
So I would appreciate having your vote on November 8th. I bring to the position experience, knowledge, a lot of leadership qualities that have taken a long time to build, and networks with a number of community members, government officials, programs. And so I feel that I can continue my work there, especially in the areas of early learning, and be able to propagate that throughout the whole county. Please vote for me on November 8th.
Ms. Chin.
There are always things to do. It's been almost a decade. It has sufficient time to accomplish things. If not able to get things done, then let someone else do it. I don't see energy. I don't see leadership in county office. It's time to make a change. My candidacy had made this election intense, maybe most intense ever for Santa Clara County Board of Education. Because of my candidacy, more and more people are paying attention to the County Board of Education, and they want to know how the County Board can better serve them. I'm so happy to see those changes, aren't you? But these changes will disappear if Sheena Ching will be absent from County Board of Education. Every effort, improvements we have made until now will be reset for another 4 years if Sheena Ching will not be elected. It is time to change. It is time to bring new energy to the County Board of Education. I traveled more than 1,200 miles for the past 50 days. I talked to countless people and shook numerous hands. People want to be involved and informed. Our students deserve action. I need your votes to continue the momentum of change. I need your votes to bring new energy to County Board of Education. Please vote Sheena Ching for Santa Clara County Board of Education, Trustee Area 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This concludes our forum. I would like to thank the candidates for participating. I would also like to thank all the volunteers who have made this forum possible. This forum has been designed to impart information to you, the voter, in accordance with our belief that a democratic government depends upon the informed and active participation of its citizens. We hope that the insights that you have gained from this forum will aid you in making your selection on November 8th. For more voter information, please visit the Voters Edge website at www.votersedge.org. And please vote on November 8th and help make our democracy work. Thank you.